All right, Reds, pull up a chair. We need to talk about the day the lights started to dim at Old Trafford. It wasn't because of a loss on the pitch or a bad run of form. It was May 2005. The day a family from Florida decided to buy a crown jewel using money they didn't even have. This wasn't a normal purchase. It was a hostile takeover. A leveraged buyout that dumped over £500 million of debt onto a club that had been debt-free for decades. The protests were immediate. The green and gold scarves, the Love United, Hate Glazer chants. It wasn't just noise. It was a warning. Fans knew then what the rest of the world is only seeing now. Manchester United was being turned into a cash cow. Every penny generated by the fans, every ticket, every shirt, was now going to pay off the interest on the debt they used to buy us. It was a heist in broad daylight. For a long time, the rot was hidden. Why? Because we had the greatest manager to ever walk the earth. Sir Alex Ferguson was a miracle worker. He kept the trophies coming, kept the standard high, and kept the focus on the football. The Glazers were happy to sit back, take the dividends, and let the gaffer work his magic. As long as the Champions League money kept rolling in, they didn't have to lift a finger. But even under SAF, the signs were there. The value in the market era. We weren't competing for the absolute best anymore. We were looking for bargains while our rivals were spending big. Ferguson made it work because he was a genius, but he was papering over massive cracks. He was building empires with one hand tied behind his back while the owners were draining the coffers. Fast forward to today, and the physical evidence of their neglect is unavoidable. Old Trafford, the theater of dreams, is literally falling apart. You've seen the videos. Water cascading off the roof during a downpour. Toilets that haven't been updated since the 90s. A stadium that feels like a museum rather than a modern elite arena. While Spurs built a billion-pound spaceship and Liverpool modernized the Kop, our owners haven't spent a single penny of their own money on the stadium. It's not just the bricks and mortar. It's the training ground at Carrington, too. Ronaldo came back and couldn't believe his eyes. The gym, the pool, the tech. It was all the same as when he left in 2009. That tells you everything you need to know. If it doesn't show up on a commercial balance sheet, the Glazers aren't interested. They've let the pride of Manchester become a laughingstock. When Fergie left, the shield dropped. And boy, did it drop hard. Ed Woodward, the banker who helped facilitate the takeover, was put in charge of football operations. It was a disaster. We spent over £1 billion on players but with zero plan. We bought for commercial value, for Instagram followers, and for names that would look good on a noodle sponsorship deal. We had no director of football, no scouting identity, just a revolving door of managers and overpriced superstars who didn't want to be there. We became the club where careers went to die. We gave massive contracts to players who were past their best, making them impossible to sell. We missed out on the real gems because the recruitment team was too busy looking at spreadsheets instead of the pitch. It's been a decade of aimless wandering, led by people who know the price of everything and the value of nothing. Then came April 2021, the European Super League. The moment they tried to steal the game itself, it was the ultimate betrayal of the fans, the history, and the community. They thought they could lock United into a closed shop, away from the risk of relegation or competition, all to guarantee their investment. They underestimated the power of the fans, the protests at Old Trafford that forced a game to be postponed. That was the breaking point. They issued a hollow apology, but the damage was done. The relationship was severed beyond repair. The Glazers out movement wasn't just a hashtag anymore. It was a global mandate. Fans realized that as long as this family stayed, the club would never have its soul back. And here we are now. Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos have come in to take over the football side. There's hope, sure. Proper football people making football decisions. But the Glazers are still there. lurking in the shadows, holding on to their shares. They dragged the sale process out for a year, purely to squeeze every last cent out of the deal. They don't care about the transition, they care about the payout. The road back to the top is long. We have a stadium to rebuild, a squad to fix, and a culture to restore. But the first step is recognizing the damage done over the last 20 years. We can't move forward until we acknowledge how far we've fallen under this ownership. Manchester United is more than a brand. It's the Busby Babes. It's the treble. It's every fan who travels home and away in the pouring rain. The Glazers tried to turn a community into a commodity, but they failed. Because the soul of this club doesn't belong to a family in Florida, it belongs to the fans. And we're not going anywhere. The fight for the future of United is far from over. Glory, glory, Man United. Keep the faith, Reds.